opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Welcome inside a brand new week of Running Point. Today is Monday. We are on August 12th, 2024. Running Point on ysnlive.com. Brought to you by our good friends, top right-hand corner of the screen right there. Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. They go the extra mile for you, so you don't have to. We try to follow their lead on this show every single day. Coaches' corners, player profiles, fun interviews with other people inside, outside of our community in the sports world. We do it all here on Running Point, and we do it just for you, so you can know that we take care of you. Greenwood Chevrolet, doing the same thing with your car needs. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, make sure to check out Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. They'll go the extra mile for you. On today's show, we have more fall sports season previews. We're going to be joined on the volleyball court by Chrissy Hughes, the head coach of the Western Reserve Blue Devils. Got to the district championship last year, fell to conference rival McDonald's. So we'll see what she thinks about this season. We'll also have a football season preview from Wyndham. Ty Bartell got a chance to catch up with Jack I, the head coach of the Wyndham Bombers, talk about their program. So we'll have both of those played today. And before all that, though, we do have some softball to recap. The softball season, unfortunately, is officially over on YSN. We will not have any more softball game content, at least, until the next softball season. Very sad, very emotional. Austin Town could not get it done, but nothing to hang your hats up. Go all the way to the Little League World Series. It was hard coming off of that rain delay. You can't make an excuse out of it because every team had to do it. But to have that momentum Sunday, Monday, getting back-to-back wins, you already have built in a couple of days off. They were going to have Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday off regardless because of AAU being there and because of being in the winner's bracket and Tuesday being elimination, Tuesday within the loser's bracket. So they were already going to have 2 days off. Then it turned into 3 days off. You have to try to gather that momentum, and they just couldn't do it against a very good team out of Louisiana, which somehow was in the southwest region. That really threw me off. You look at a USA map, Louisiana is nowhere near the southwest of the United States, but I rest my case on that. But Louisiana just really good. Really good, and they did exactly what I said was going to be the key on Thursday afternoon on Running Point, or Friday afternoon, I should say. We did a Friday show. They put the ball in play. They avoided the strikeouts. They did a good job putting pressure on Austin Town's defense. So did the next team Austin Town played in Southeast, which is the team that Austin Town beat on Monday. 2-0. Southeast gets revenge. Wins 3-1 to go to the semifinals for the Little League World Series. So tough weekend for Austin Town. Did not go the way they wanted, but I think when you look at those two games and you look at their run in total, I mean, what a fun team to watch. We've had them on YSN a couple of times, a couple of interviews with a handful of players. Love talking to them, love covering them. It's sad to see them go, but we know that they're only 12 years old. And they have a lot of fun in front of them as when it comes to softball in the community. They'll be in high school before you know it, doing things doing things that you can do on the high school field, right? Keeping that Austintown legacy right where it's at. I also wanted to, as a softball fan, by the way, watching Ainsley Johnson from Louisiana. This kid, you never want to say too much about a 12-year-old about like what their future could be, because we know a lot can happen between 12 years old and 18, 19 when you're making college decisions and start playing in college. But I was gobs. That was the first time I watched her. I didn't watch her first game that she played, or the two. So I was watching that pitcher, and oh my, the spin rate on her pitches. Like, you can't get a great appreciation for it from the broadcast angle on how late pitches are breaking. But when they showed like the side angle, and you could just see how off the swings of Austintown were, they were timed up, but they just got under it or over it because that pitch just moved so late and so good. You do not see that kind of spin rate on a pitch at 12 years old very often. Had the velocity, not quite. I think Mila Hamley's faster, probably velo, but it doesn't matter when you have that kind of spin. You can be throwing 56, 58 with that spin. It's you saw what it was if you watched that game. She had like 4 innings out of the 6 where she just like struck out the side, and she had a handful of 3-pitch strikeouts that were just like coming right at you, and you're not going to hit me because my ball is spinning away from your bat before you even know it hit you. It was phenomenal. Like, from a fan's perspective, from a general fan's perspective, just really fun to watch. Not from an Austintown fan perspective. That was not fun to watch. But just from a, oh my gosh, this girl's going to be special, and we're going to have to remember her name, and she'll probably be doing huge things when she grows up. Remember Ainsley Johnson. If you're a softball fan out there and you're going to be watching, like, she might be going to a big school. And you know what the crazy thing is? And we've been talking to, so many college softball players in the last couple of weeks in the Living the Dream segment, and their generation was all about recruiting at that age. You could recruit at 13. Some people were committed at 12 years old, which is just nuts that you could do that. Back in those days, you would see that girl and you would see colleges already calling her, right? Like, hey, come to Alabama. Hey, come to Oklahoma. Come to Texas. And I guarantee she would have her pick of any of those schools. Now, thank God we found some sanity. And you're no longer allowed to do that in recruiting for softball. You have to wait until you're a junior to commit, because, well, let's just face it, 12-year-olds making college decisions, not exactly the smartest thing in the world. But back in the day, like, this girl would have been getting calls everywhere, right? Because she's that good. Can't wait to see, just kind of trying to keep an eye on what she's able to do in the next couple of years. And I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot from her if you follow Extra Inning Softball, or if you follow Softball America, or any of those kind of outlets that start to put a marker on softball players when they get into the 13, 14-year-old range. They start to rank the classes and, make those. That's why you'll see on a lot of softball players' profiles, I'm, number 36 in the class of 2027. Extra Inning Softball is usually the main one that does that. And I'm sure you'll see Ainsley Johnson's name pop up on that in a couple of years when they start ranking her class. Once again, don't do it nearly as early as they used to, thankfully, because recruiting is not nearly as early as it used to be. But, you give her a couple of years, maybe get that velo up into the 60s a little bit. It does not have to be like super fast. I think if she could hit 60 to 62 with that spin, that would be good enough to pitch anywhere. Like, she does not need 65, 67 miles an hour. In fact, you throw that hard, you might lose your spin rate. You might lose that ability to break so late. So I would say, like, watching her pitch, she might be in that sweet spot where she throws 61 to 63. With that spin rate, you might have a lot of good things on your hands with her. So want to end that conversation by saying congratulations again to Austintown. I want to thank you for bringing us along the ride. letting YSN be, an avenue for coverage for you, coming on our show when you were in Greenville. Matt Hamley, want to thank you so much for just continuing to be a strong beacon for that team and for Austintown. And I know you're going to be still doing great things, and that team's still going to be doing great things. But in Little League, you get like 2 years, right? And then you have to, you age out, right? So won't be in that World Series again, but maybe you could get into that Junior League World Series that we saw a local team and the Steel Valley All-Stars. Maybe next year that team can stay together a little bit, and at least a chunk of those players can find a way to try to avenge that 2 years in a row getting to the World Series, trying to get right back to it. So hopefully we'll see that. Hopefully we'll see more great things in the future. But as a softball fan, kind of sad because that's the end of softball, right? That's the final softball story about a game. Final game recap has been locked in on ysnlive.com until probably next March, right? So sad days for softball fans. If you are a junkie like me, still professional softball going on, still Athletes Unlimited, WPF's going into the postseason. So there's still a little bit you can watch out there, but the YSN coverage of softball has officially closed the book, wrapped the ribbon. We'll see you next season. Let's go. With that being said, let's go right into the next season on tap, the fall sports season. We're just as excited about volleyball as we are sad to see softball go. We are going to hear from Chrissy Hughes. Ty Bartell has this interview. It's a great one. Western Reserve, one of the best volleyball programs in the area. Can't wait to hear what they have in store for us in 2024. So here you go. Coach's Corner, Episode 1, Season Preview, Western Reserve Volleyball on YSN.
What's going on, everybody? Ty Bartell in with another edition of Coach's Corner. This time we head to my friends over in Berlin Center with the Western Reserve Blue Devils, as we're going to take a look at the volleyball team they're going to be put together here for the 2024 season. I got their skipper, Christine Hughes, joining me today. Coach Hughes, how are we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad, and I know your girls are getting excited for the season. I see the pictures swirling on socials. I see all the girls. They're pumped up for volleyball season. What have you seen in tryouts so far? What are some names that are sticking out for you? Who are some names that we can expect to hear a lot for Western Reserve Volleyball this year?
Yeah, well, our tryouts aren't officially till tomorrow, but we've definitely had some open gyms, and we went to some playing against teams. We went to Cedar Point last week, but I mean, I have 5 returning starters, so we have actually 6 seniors. Haley Fellows is our setter. She's definitely doing a nice job so far this year. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with her. Isabella Morrow, she'll be back full season this year. She's going to be someone to be reckoned with. She definitely has worked on her hitting and blocking. I'm excited to see her play. Daylin Brown, she's also back, and we had little injuries last year, so she's back in full circuit as well. Abby Blair, she had an injury at the end of the season, but definitely back in full swing. So excited to see them come back and play for our team. And I know they're super excited to have some successful moments. I also have Amanda Hamilton, who will be back, and Lauren Steed. Quincy Miller is our other setter. She's a junior. She played for us last year as a setter, and definitely she's going to be helping us out.
You look at this team too, and you
I have
mentioned
Angela DeSanto. She's newer to our team. She played for Western Reserve for the past 3 years. But and Chloe Ensley, she's a sophomore. She's
you mentioned the 16.
Tyler. Let me see.
I know we're having a little bit of a connection issue, but I mean, we're talking about this team too. And I mean, you mentioned a lot of names that I heard last year. I got to mention those names last year too during broadcast. 6 seniors. That's a pretty big amount too for a school of your size. You talk about this team, but I want to talk a little bit about the conference too, because I feel like this conference has consistently gotten better each and every year. The competition around you guys, it's no longer you guys aren't the top of the mountain. There's a lot of teams competing for the top of the mountain. what are the girls, I guess, mentality like now that they got to experience that last year? They got to experience a lot of teams taking those shot, a lot of teams that are improved over the years. What is their mentality in it now, knowing that there's a lot of teams going for the top of the mountain, but they want to be the ones at the top?
Absolutely. And we talk about that all the time. Our league is tough. We got Jackson Milton. They're so scrappy. They got new coaches happening this year and older coaches that have been around forever. So we ran into them this summer, and it's definitely going to be something to work hard and play. Middle Ridge, always, always tough. Springfield, we ran into them this summer as well. They definitely are tough. And we have Camel with us now. So Camel went into our league this year, and we ran into those two. So yeah, our league is definitely tough, 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 even though, they've been around. But and again, when you're on top like that, or you come out in a tie for first place, everyone's going to come after you. So we have that mentality, and definitely starting tomorrow in our real season, we definitely, know that. And not to mention McDonald. We definitely have a great competitive season to make us work hard and show up, hopefully, for the tournaments.
And I mean, that's all you can ask for too, out of a conference and out of a regular season, right? When you talk about this conference, though, and I mean, you guys, I know goal is always you want to win that conference first. It's the first thing you can win. When you look at the competition in and around your conference, what are you guys going to have to do? Obviously, you got to focus on yourselves. What are you guys going to have to focus on for you guys to see yourselves at the top of the conference end of the season?
Absolutely. From playing this summer, because we did a lot of playing, we definitely need to work on some serve receive. The girls know it. We know it. We could run big plays, but we can't run them if we don't have that first pass. So we are definitely focusing on that stuff, focusing on working hard, playing hard, not letting the ball hit the ground. I feel like since I've, been around in this last few years, we've been focusing on that. It doesn't matter. You got to go out and play hard. We don't care what the score is. Our schedule is tough. Not only our conference, we throw in Wellsville in there. We throw in Crestview in there. So we want to play those schools, and so we can get better. And again, I don't really care what that score is. I want them to play hard every single point, and I feel like that's what we have to focus on this year.
How beneficial is it for you as you're trying to continue taking steps with the program, continue to try to build this into that kind of caliber of a program? How helpful, how beneficial is it for you as a coach and for you guys as a team to have so much good, talented competition, state level competition that is right within reaching distance for you guys to kind of test yourselves against?
It's phenomenal. I mean, our area of volleyball is outstanding. I mean, I know we are scrimmaging South Range, we're scrimmaging Poland, we're scrimmaging Canfield, we're scrimmaging East Liverpool, who are definitely all big contenders, in this thing. Ursuline, I mean, we just got phenomenal volleyball around us, which helps our team get better and helps the whole program get better. So I can't say enough about the area teams and like the JO teams that are around here, and our kids being involved with that to help throughout the year. Even though we have some multi-sport athletes, they still try to fit in, travel volleyball outside of there. So you can see it, you can tell because of their skill.
You could also tell about the Hughes too. You guys have done a lot to build volleyball up in and around the area. The Hughes name goes deep in this area when it comes to volleyball. You personally, I'm just curious. I mean, you obviously have to have that deep-rooted love for it to keep coming back each and every year. What keeps you coming back though each and every year? What drives that love to be a coach and to be Western Reserve skipper?
You know what? Since I've been a kid, I wanted to be a teacher. The kids make it the best. You have ins and outs with everything going around, but when the kids come up and show and are having fun and are learning, same within my teaching career, I'm going to be here as long as I'm still having fun and the kids are improving and the kids are there, to want to win. They want some competitiveness in them, and they're fun. They're great kids. They want to come. They want to have fun. They want to make memories. I mean, I can't ask for much more. They're great kids.
From your first day of calling yourself a head coach to now, what are some of the biggest things you've learned about yourself and you've taken away from your coaching style that's kind of helped you today?
Yeah, I guess when I first came in, I felt a lot of pressure. We had got a lot of good teams, and I had to come in and fulfill that successfulness that we've had at Western Reserve High School. Even though I was part of the junior high program for years, I know that coming up to that varsity level is a way, more intense, and just to keep that high intensity and to show that Western Reserve has great kids and a great volleyball program. And so that was a lot of pressure on me. I feel like now, it is about the kids. It's always been about the kids for me, but I need them to feel successful. I need them to enjoy it. I need them to learn life skills from it. And so I guess that's my olderness, even though I've been, around for a while. These last few years, even though it was pretty intense and I had a big target on my back, I feel like, we did that and we made memories and we, played hard, and I feel like the kids enjoyed it, and that's what I want out of it.
Do you think your coaching in the lower levels benefited you and made you ready for that varsity level? Just as a piece of advice for other people kind of interested in the coaching realm too, is it beneficial to kind of start small, work your way up?
Absolutely. I mean, I started coaching right out of high school with my high school coach. Her name was Lana Kramer, and she kind of held me under her wing because I was this young 17, 18-year-old kid coming in. And so I started with her doing JV, I think, for 3 years. And then I went down to junior high just to do it on my own a little bit there. And then, stayed with the younger groups as I moved around schools, etc. But I definitely, you need somebody to guide you. I don't care who you are. You can come in right now, but you need somebody that's going to help you out, to guide you, to, help you through the things that aren't just coaching volleyball. Because I feel like you can come right out of college and be a college player and you can coach volleyball, but you have to do the ins and outs, and you have to relate to the kids, and you have to do all that little stuff that nobody teaches you how to do. So you have to have a mentor. And I feel like with our school, our programs work together, and the more experience that we have, the mentors that we have. I can't even tell you, when I got the coaching job, I did reach out to that same coach who coached me throughout high school. So it is super nice to stay in contact and have somebody for your support when you need it.
That coaching network makes all the difference too, as you continue to progress as a coach as well. You talked about the staffs you worked under too and how you got your roots. I'm kind of curious about the staff you've put together around you too. You serve as a mentor now for a lot of young minds that want to get into that coaching world. What's the staff look like around you this year for Western Reserve?
Good. So my assistant coach is coaching JV is Alexis Hughes. She's back around with me again, and she comes, bringing all of her college experience, which helps these kids as well. And then we have a volunteer coach on this year. Her name is Tessa Napolitano. She's one of our teachers at Western Reserve. I believe staff, just to be helpful. And I'm so excited to have her. She's been around this couple of days, and it's been tremendous having a third coach at practice. And then my junior high coaches they're the same as last year, which is Morgan Eichert and Nicole Watts. This is their second year. Well, Morgan's been here for 3 years, but Nicole's too. And they just are very supportive of the program. We are in communication always. What they need from me and what I can help them do, because, that's builds from the bottom up. So I'm excited to have everyone back.
Is it still surreal to you to look at Alexis and see everything kind of come full circle now that she's on the staff now?
Absolutely. You know what? She has a great rapport with most of the girls, and, they look up to her because they have seen that, that she could play. And, she, just us going to Cedar Point and the camaraderie that we all have, I feel like, her being a little bit younger and helping them out with all the knowledge she brings is phenomenal.
Let's look at a little bit at first game of the season. Why don't you let the community know where they can catch you to, and tell them why they need to come out and see this team this year.
All right. Our first game is versus Waterloo on the 19th. And then we play Camel, I believe. No, Mooney. Sorry. We play Mooney, and then we play Camel. So our first 3 games are going to be pretty intense, and Jackson Milton. So our four games in a row, that we have 2 1 week and 2 the next. These girls are excited to play. They got some volleyball in their heart, which is so fun to coach. And I know they're going to come out and they're going to make a show.
We're excited to showcase the show once again and have another year of Western Reserve volleyball here on the network. Coach Hughes, I'm wishing you the best of luck this season in that gauntlet of an MVAC Scarlet tier that you guys are going to have to fare your way through. I'm excited to see a couple of those premier matchups during the year.
Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate all your support that you do for our girls.
No problem. We are looking forward to another season of it. This has been a first edition of Coach's Corner with Christine Hughes, skipper of the Western Reserve girls volleyball team.
Christy Hughes from Western Reserve, one of the more well-respected programs in the area. In that MVAC Scarlet tier that you just heard Ty Bartel say, and he's very right, it's a gauntlet. It's a tough conference. You had a couple of teams that are on the rise trying to get back to being really, really good, like Springfield and Jackson Milton, that were kind of good, but trying to look for consistency last year. Middle Ridge, that's all you need to know. Middle Ridge, McDonald, Western Reserve, those three are monsters. Now, Campbell coming into that league now, who has been just nothing but momentum in the volleyball program with Coach Tyler Allen doing great things over there. So that MVAC Scarlet tier, it's no joke. And that's the first interview we've had from it so far with Chrissy Hughes. But when you talk to all those coaches, Ron Lesko, Mike Klockner, et cetera, Tyler Allen, who I already mentioned, you're going to learn really quickly. Jackson Milton has a new coach, by the way. Really quickly, the level of volleyball that's being played in the MVAC Scarlet tier. It might get a little overlooked because it's the smaller tier as far as school size goes. But it might be one of the most competitive volleyball conferences that we have on YSN. It'll be down between, if I had to pick like most competitive volleyball conferences on YSN, it'd probably come down to the MVAC Scarlet tier and then the AAC. I mean, the AAC is going to be a gauntlet too, with Fitch, Canfield, Boardman, Howland, and Warren Harding. So those two conferences are ones to really, really watch out for when you think of so many teams that could have a stake and a say in taking away the trophy at the end of the season. It's going to be really fun. Can't wait. Western Reserve season starts in 7 days, August 19th, next Monday, against MVAC rival Waterloo. So can't wait for that to start. Thank you to Chrissy Hughes for her time and giving us that interview. We love having you on, and you're a friend of the show for sure. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll go on the football side of things, a Coach's Corner with Jack I from Wyndham. Coming up after this break on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens. On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
What can you do on over 5,000 acres? At Mill Creek Metro Parks, you can discover unique habitats and wildlife, create memorable family moments, experience history, heritage, and park programs, explore scenic landscapes, take time to relax and be well, connect with nature and each other. Come see what's new at Mill Creek Metro Parks. Plan your trip now at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means taking care of our local customers.
And it's just a great feeling to put them in a vehicle and get them all excited about a new vehicle.
At the end of the day, our goal is to be someone our customers can count on.
And every day I'll go the extra mile for the community so they can trust us.
To do anything that would convenience the customer or make them feel more at home.
Realizing, number one, that we're here for them and that we're not going to go away.
That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by the fellows you just heard from in that commercial break. Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. We do the same here on the show every single day. And we will continue to do that because of the sponsorships of Greenwood Chevrolet. We thank them every day for their belief in this show. Now, I promised you before the break that we would have another football season preview from Wyndham, the Bombers, who had an injury-plagued season last year. We all know that is one of those good news, bad news situations, right? So it's bad news because, of course, you're just going through it. You know, you have to find a way to get through it. Tough to go through. But on the flip side, you come back and you say, okay, we're healthy now. And a lot of people might underestimate us because they don't understand where, like, what we did last year wasn't anywhere close to us at full strength. So a very healthy Wyndham team coming in, hoping to shock a lot of people and maybe take a lot of people off their foot because, Wyndham might be a little bit overlooked. And I think Jack Eye kind of, maybe he won't admit it, but maybe he would think that too. He might go into some games with a little bit of that, smirk, right? Like, I know something you don't know. And what I know is the Bombers are healthy, ready to go, and they're a proud football program. And we have a coach's corner with Jack Eye. Ty Bartell getting a lot of FaceTime on today's episode of Running Point on a Monday. So here is Wyndham football, Jack Eye, talking about the season and what to look forward to from the hangar in Wyndham.
Ty Bartell with another edition of Coach's Corner. It's that time of the year again. We're getting into football previews, and we're going to stay close to home for myself here in Portage County. We're going to go right down the road into Bomber country with the Wyndham Bombers skipper Jake Eye joining me today. Coach Eye, how we doing?
Doing well. Thanks, Tyler. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining, too. Excited to have another season of Wyndham Bombers football on the network. Let's talk about this squad this year. And I know when you sent me the roster, I take a look over it, too. You guys are 25 to 27 roster range, but I got to feel like you are pretty happy about the fact that, 13 seniors I see on this? So for a small school, small roster, but half of your guys are seniors. Talk to me a little bit about this roster, some excitement you have seeing the guys coming in this year.
So, yes, 13 seniors. That's half our team. We have a roster of 26, 13 of those being seniors. Those seniors have been together for quite some time. And honestly, a lot of those seniors that were juniors last year were out with injury for most of the 23 season. Guys like Omar Duran, Brandon Petrich, and Kayshawn Scales, 3 of our starting linemen were out pretty much for the year. And then you mix in Jaquan Smith and Jack. Jack had broke his hip for the first 5 games of the year, so he was out. So we've got 5 or 6 of those seniors that are fully healthy and ready for a big run in the 24 season. We're hoping.
We talked about that too, and I know it's been an unfortunate theme for you guys, just battling injuries the last few years. It feels like you guys start getting momentum and then something comes out to derail it. One thing I want to talk about, though, and I know you have toughness written up and down you too with your story coming into as the coach, but just giving it to your boys, passing it on to the boys of this team too. Guys get injured too like that. It's pretty easy to just pack it in and say, hey, I'm not doing this again another season. Talk to me about the toughness of this Bomber squad that makes them wanting more coming out each and every season.
Well, Wyndham's always been known as tough, hard-nosed, gutsy kids. We're not a big school, so any injury, regardless of who it is a killer when you're talking about a small school like us. But we've never used that as an excuse. We've never used our numbers as an excuse. In the past, we've finished games with 11 guys. So toughness is definitely a good way to describe our group, especially the senior group. They've been through quite a bit with numbers. And again, I mentioned, finishing games with 11 guys, 11, 12 guys. Not many football teams are going to do that around the area. But if we have 11, we're going to play.
I want to talk a little bit about this schedule. I know you guys will start off August 23rd at Lisbon, as long as anything hasn't changed too. But of course, you guys play in that NAC. But talk to me, conference, non-conference schedule wise. What are some games? What are some weeks you're looking forward to, and how are you getting your guys ready for week 1? Most importantly, against Lisbon.
Yeah, obviously, you go week to week. The cliche things that go along with that. You're always looking at game 1. Lisbon's in our sights. They have a new coach, but he's not new. They've always had a notoriously tough program. So we're looking forward to playing Lisbon. And as far as the schedule's concerned, I know we've picked up a few new districts with East Palestine and Banlieue. Obviously don't know much about those guys, but that's down the road. We like our team. We like our chances. We're excited about this season, probably the most excited I've been in a while, as far as, the overall health of our team, and then looking at our schedule and seeing some of the comparisons and some of the parity in our league and in our non-conference. Obviously, teams like PV and Matthews are always tough in our conference. We pick up Grand Valley again this year, so they're fresh back to us this year. But yeah, we're excited about our team, and we're excited about our schedule, and hopefully, like I said, we can stay healthy. And we felt like we underachieved last year. Going 2-8, we felt like we were better than that. But again, injuries kind of slowed us down, and we're hoping to avoid that issue again this year and get off to a strong start.
I think it speaks volumes for the guys that stuck it out too, and they're coming back too. I wouldn't want to mess with them on the gridiron, that's for sure. You talked about the 13 seniors, and obviously, aside from the fact that they're older, they're going to be bigger, maybe a little bit stronger, right, on the field. Do you notice the intangibles, the IQ of these players starting to improve too? Are you noticing them picking up things a little bit more? Are they talking to you about things rather than you talking to them about things now?
For sure. A year bigger, a year stronger, a year smarter. A lot of these seniors are veteran leaders. Guys like Dylan McCune, who has been a quarterback for us for pretty much 4 years. He's a smart, heady kid. He knows the offense really well. We're looking to, for him to be our field general. They're all very smart kids. They know the game. They've been around the game. We've got some new guys, even Nick Hopper, who is, he's a new guy to us, but he's an athlete. He's a very smart kid, and we look for some big things from him. But even some of our linemen, some of our senior linemen like Kayshawn Scales and Brandon Petrich and Omar and Ysn, those guys are all veterans, juniors and seniors, and they all know the offense. They all know what we expect of them defensively. So, yeah, a lot of times some of them like to be coaches. They think that they know everything, but they've done a good job to this point, especially in camp, working with some of the younger guys that we have coming.
As far as your play style is concerned, do you kind of favor quantity or quality of plays when you have more senior leadership? Are you trying to perfect the plays you already run? Or are you trying to add some new stuff in because they have more years of experience?
We've been a wing T team forever. As old school as it is. Now there's some variations that we've added along the way. We're not afraid to spread it out, obviously. But we would lots rather run, 6-8 plays if we could and master those plays. Obviously, I think any team would rather do that. But yeah, we're just we're more of a wing T team. We're going to run the ball and we're going to boot and we're going to, just try to methodically move the ball down the field and see what happens.
I know you're pretty well known in that Windham community. You're also pretty well known throughout Portage County too. But to our friends throughout the Mahoning County and throughout all of Ysn that may not know about who Jake I is, give us a little preview. What got you into this spot as a football coach? I know you're a multiple sport coach too, not just football. But what is it about coaching, man, that keeps you coming back year in and year out, that keeps you loving it?
I started coaching, back in the early 2000s, baseball with Zach Burns, a good friend of mine, and still actively involved with our program. So I coached baseball right off the rip. And then I was a youth football coach there for quite some time, and then got into coaching high school with Anthony Majorca, who taught me a lot about the game, who I learned a lot from. And then from that point forward, it's just been, I love being around the kids. I love helping the kids. I have 4 kids of my own. My wife has a daycare center, so I'm around kids all the time. I enjoy working with young men and trying to, further advance not only their athletic career or just in life in general. So it's about the kids. I mean, any coach will tell you it's about the kids.
I love to hear it, Coach. You talked about that early baseball career too, the early baseball coaching career too. You started early in that before football. Did you find yourself on a learning curve when you started getting into football, or did you find parallels and find it helping you going from baseball to football?
So when I jumped into coaching football, I really did not. I did not consider myself a football coach. I really didn't. And again, working with Anthony Majorca over the years. Again, he was a bright mind, knew the game very well. I learned quite a bit from him. So when he left, and I took over, I felt I had some more confidence in what I was doing. And having confidence is always key when you're coaching anything, but you also got to have confidence in your players. And so sometimes us coaches lean on our players more than people realize.
We talked a little bit about you, but I know we got to talk about Windham, because I feel like Jake I and Windham kind of go hand in hand, right? Like, why Windham? Why this small village that is considered so special to everyone that's ever attended it, ever been there? You talk to people from Windham, and they regard it with such high regards, right? Why Windham? What is it about Windham? What is it about Bomber Country that's so special?
We're such a small community. There's almost a sense like there's a chip on people's shoulders. It's almost like we're in no man's land as it is. So we're right there on the edge of Trumbull Portage County line. So we kind of feel like we're the misfits at times. I just think that being a small community that we are, everybody knows everybody. And it's everybody's always pulling for one another here. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of, good communication. There's a lot of positivity that goes on. So, Windham's always been my home. It's where I grew up. I left for a short period of time, with college and baseball, but my roots are here. My family's here. My kids go to school here. You're not going to get me from here.
You mentioned your coaching of your kids too, and I know Chase, I know Jack, I know you've had your time with them and all your kids. When you talk about that too, and coaching all the kids that you have in your career too, was it difficult for you to kind of turn on dad mode, coach mode, or was it easy for you to kind of blur between the lines, or what were the challenges like for you in that?
Well, I started coaching football when Blake, my oldest, was a freshman. That's when I got into high school. And so coaching him, in his 4 years of high school, and then even in junior high, and then transitioning into Chase, there was never any major issues. You're going to have the grumblings at home, and there's always going to be those discussions at home that stay between father, son. But it's always positive, and it's always there's times where you may not agree with each other, but it's just like, sometimes you got to think of it as work. You don't want to take your work at home, work home with you. Chase and I had a great relationship. He was such a great leader. Jack's the same way. Jack's a little bit more fiery. Him and I will, butt heads at times, but, we love each other. We respect each other. And, I lean on him as much as he leans on me. And I have a freshman that's now playing. So, times are great for me. I'm going to cherish these moments. They go by quick. I always tell my players, enjoy these moments, because tomorrow you're going to wake up 50 years old. So, relish the moment, enjoy, and, make a lot of memories.
Oh, Coach, we're certainly rooting for you here at YSN. We're wishing the best of health to your team, best of luck to your team this season, too. And hopefully we could see another successful winning season in Windham. I know that community is hungry for it. Before we let you go, though, Coach, I want to give you a chance to shout out that community, let them know where they need to be August 23rd, and let them know where they need to be packing the stands.
Lots of love to the Windham community. The Bombers are excited for a fresh start here in the 24 season. We're looking for some big things, so please come out and support us. August 23rd, we're at Lisbon, and then week 2, we're home against East Palestine. So pack the stands, come out, enjoy a hot dog and a beverage, and watch some good Bomber football.
You usually don't have to say much to get them out there. They're going to be out there anyway. Coach, again, best of luck to you this season.
I want to give a shout out to you guys, Tyler, you and DJ and Anthony. All you guys do a great job out there. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to cover us. You guys do, a wonderful job. I follow you religiously. I know a lot of my players follow you guys. So what you guys do is top notch. So thank you.
All the love right back to you and all the Bombers, Coach, as we wouldn't have it any other way. And we're looking forward to getting out there for another season of Bombers athletics.
Appreciate the support.
This first edition of Coach's Corner in the 2024 season with the skipper of the football team, Jake I.
You gotta love Coach I at Windham, man. This just the definition of a hometown guy, right? Like he is all about Windham. He wants Windham, not just a football program, but the whole city, to just always prosper. And you gotta love guys like that. Nothing against people that come outside the community and do great things for their football or their sports programs. We've seen a lot of good coaches that aren't necessarily from the community and come in and do great things for their programs and for their schools. And there's nothing against that. There's nothing wrong with that. And definitely more power to you if you're able to do that. But there's something special about a guy that's just, they're a part of the community and for the community before they even sign on the dotted line to be a head coach. And Coach I, definitely one of those. If you're watching, Coach, my hat is off to you. Would take it off, but the headphones, right? So my hat off to you. You do a great job, man. You do a great job. Coach I and these Windham Bombers, like Ty just said towards the end of that interview, we wish them all the health in the world, because we know the injury bug, especially the last couple of years, has haunted them. They're healthy. They're ready to go. And like I said before that interview, the Bombers are going to surprise some people. They're going to surprise some people, I think. I think they're going to catch a lot of people off guard, especially early in the season. And they look really good. Have you seen the new helmets they rolled out this year? It's backlogged a little bit on our social media, but if you go check out our Facebook and our Twitter, we've retweeted and shared on Facebook. You go find the Bomber helmet. Oh man, win or lose, they're gonna look good. They're gonna look good, feel good, play good, right? Bombers believe in that wholeheartedly, and we can't wait to get out for Windham football this year and once again cover a great team that has been a great part of the YSN family over there in Bomber country. Back in the hangar, right? Coming back for Windham sports. We're excited for it. We want to thank Coach I. We want to thank Ty Bartell for doing both the interviews that were featured today. Me and him have been kind of tag teaming, and DJ as well, trying to get as many coaches' corners as possible before the start of the season. We are still trucking along with that. We'll still have more for you. Plenty to play. Tomorrow, we'll be right back at it. Running Point, 1 to 2 tomorrow, like always. Scrappers on YSN tonight. Their season winding down. Make sure to check them out with Ty Bartell, 7 o'clock first pitch. If you're not going to go down to Eastwood Field, make sure to check out the broadcast. Ty's doing a great job covering the Scrappers this summer. So that will be on the network tonight. We have a couple of golf teams, I think, in action today, so we might have some recaps for you. Soccer starts Friday. Volleyball starts Saturday for a broadcast on YSN. Can't wait for all of that fun stuff. Actually, I think we have volleyball on Friday too. So you don't have to wait too long for the fall sports season to start. I don't know if this comment popped up during the interview or not, but I'm going to put up the comments like we always do on Running Point. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow on Running Point 1 to 2 as always, and also as always brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.